Welcome to Charting Crypto. It is the 19th of January. I'm bringing this to you. And how do you like this chart? I tell you what, where there is a will, there is a way. I have gone to Kraken, which is one of the crypto exchanges. It's the one I liked the most. And guess what they had for me? They happened to have the price percent oscillator on a chart that they had available for free. I set it up for our members. And again, this comes out first and foremost to our Patreon members. And then, of course, I post about 5 days, a week later, I post it on the website. So Patreon members, I will be sending out to you a link of the chart so that you can actually have your own, and you can go to Kraken, and you can set up your own your own account there. You don't even have to put any money in it. I've gone ahead and funded mine so I can do some actual trading, but you can practice trade to your heart's content. You can use these charts and it won't cost you anything, which is beautiful. So what have I done here? Well, I have instituted the price percent oscillator under the way that we set it up, 10, 24, and 8. I'm using right now the Heikin Ashi candlesticks as they have set it up. They have a nice histogram that I have enjoyed using. They also have different days. You can pick various days up to a week, down to a minute. Well, you know what I have found as I have spent a lot of time? I have found that the 3-day chart seems to work the best of anything that I have found. What I have found with the weekly, which is what we typically go with, the weekly, when you get the crossover and you see the histogram go right, it gives you a fairly short period of time. Again, not that there isn't enough time to do some trades and all, but I found over and over again, and again, this is an experiment in the making. I'm not saying we've solved everything here, but I found over and over this 3-day chart for the way that cryptocurrencies move as opposed to what you see with stocks and ETFs. I have found over and over again that when you have the price percent oscillator crossover, we will call this a 3-day crossover, going up, and you have the histogram go green open box, you typically have a nice amount of time at the beginning to be able to jump in and pull out a chunk. And when you get to the green, solid green, that means you're starting to lose momentum. If you can jump in and take a bite out of things in that middle chunk, you can do quite well. So at least it gives you a jumping in point for a Bitcoin practice trade. Now this is just Bitcoin, and I love this chart. I'm moving things around. I can go back in time and check things again and again, see where that gives me enough time to pull out a little chunk. And just so you know how to read this chart, here's how the 3-day works. It's taken me a while to figure this out. If we look up here, I'm going to have to figure out how to teach you this. Okay, if you look where I am and you look under October 5, see down there October 5, you can see I'm on October 5. Now, the minute I go off that, you're going to have to look over here to the left side of the screen. I'll just show you this and then I'll go back to October 5. This is the date. This is the time that the chart changes. You can see the chart changes at 2000 hours on Bitcoin. That's 8 o'clock at night. It'll give you the opening price. That's what O is. The high price. That's what H is. The low price. That's what L is, and C is the close, okay? Now that's important to understand, because when you start looking at these charts and you see, okay, we see October 5. Now we look, we have a crossover. Right after the crossover, we have a green open box candle, good jumping in point. I need to direct you up here to the C, right in here. Now watch when I go back to October 5. Look at the C. It's $53,960.50. If you jump in at the close, That's the price you would pay on your practice trade, okay? Now we watch how high things go. And you can see as the candles move up, they end up hitting a high, and you have to again look over to that second number right here. I'm going to go back now to where I was. You will see that the high is 66,982, and then as we go over and we see this green down candle forming. Well, it's not a candle, it's a histogram. It's showing a slowdown in the up movement, just like we're used to in our regular charts that we use with the Heikin Ashi candlestick. Remember, when you have a solid green candle, it's a slowdown in the up movement. That's basically what that histogram represents. If you got out at the close of that candle, you would have gotten out at 61,296. So again, jumping in at 53,960, getting out at 61,000, okay, 296. Now again, you can get out plenty of points in between, but what is that? Somewhere between $8,000 or $9,000, $8,000, something along those lines that you would have made. And again, you can do the percentages on that. And what are we talking about, practice trading? Well, you can practice trade a fractional share of Bitcoin. You don't have to buy an entire Bitcoin at these exchanges. You can jump in at the dollar amount you want. They'll sell you fractional shares. So, great way for you to start practicing and seeing the movement of things like Bitcoin. Now let's talk about where Bitcoin is right now. And again, work on developing your own system, but see how to use this histogram, how to use the price percent oscillator, how to use the Heikin Ashi candlesticks. And it's just as easy here. If you want to switch over to regular candlesticks, boom, you can do it. You can do it as sure as the world. It's easy to do. You can also see, again, how this move ended. You could, of course, and again, if you go back in time and you backtrack, what kind of moves are you typically seeing? What kind of percentage should you expect? What should you put in there? You can put in a good till canceled sell order at 20% up, 30% up, sell half of it, ride the rest of it out. Take as much of a profit as you can before things start moving down. But again, these are things for you to experiment with as we start going through all of these various charts. But I wanted to just sort of introduce you to where I am at this point, what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing some real fun possibilities here. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing. Now, I've selected 3 for us to look at. We look at where Bitcoin is right now on this 3-day chart. You can see that Bitcoin is still trundling down. It's gone down, slid sideways, dropped again, slid sideways up a little, dropped again, slid sideways, and it looks like it's trying to track further down. Now, when we look at the histogram, we can see these solid red show you that it's losing downward momentum. Remember, with our Heikin Ashi candlesticks, when you go from open box red to solid red, it's a slowdown in the down movement. You can see that happening with price movement up here on the candlesticks. And when you get the red open box candles again, there's another drop happening. And you can see right now the and I keep saying candlesticks, sorry, the histogram. You can see the red histogram getting smaller. Now, you can also see, though, the price percent oscillator still moving down, but this is giving you an idea as to sort of perhaps the slowing in the down pace. You can see where it was accelerating and then slowing, accelerating again, and now it's slowing. So we'll watch and see. Still lots of downward pressure even on this 3-day chart. Of course, on the regular broadcast, we'll talk about what Bitcoin's doing, so do pay attention to that on a daily basis. But here, I want to show you some of the fascinating stuff that I'm looking at. Now, let's move on and just take a broad overall look on this 3-day chart as to where we are when it comes to Ethereum. And you saw what this chart does. When you switch, it takes it a minute, it goes white, and then it comes on screen. And again, you can see here in Ethereum where it presented some opportunities. You can see back here in July where it gave you a nice up move, then it slowed down and would have gotten you out there. I'm not finding jumping in at any of these later points is particularly good, but jumping in at the beginning where you have a crossover and then you go green open box and you have nice candles with no wicks on the bottom, just nice strong up candles. Now again, you can stay in until you start seeing those weaker candles forming. As you keep seeing bigger, stronger candles, of course, you do get sort of an early warning when you see these solid green histograms. And then jumping back in, you had an opportunity to jump in here and take a little bite out of things. And then, of course, it slowed down and then it started up again. But it's hard with the charts to know about these later up moves, just a little bit harder to track. You can look at the price percent oscillator, stay in till that rotates over, but of course, sometimes that will really burn you. So as we're learning this and practicing this, let's just take the nice clean chunks out of the middle. Would that be enough? Let's just look at what the price movement would be. If you look up under the close, that would mean you're jumping in. Okay, this is the 25th, so this is a 3-day candle. So it'd be 20, if there's no weekend here, it would be, well, let's see, it's going to be the 28th. So this candle ends on the 28th, and it ends at 2,300. And then it moves up nicely, and if you waited till the close of this down green candle, which would have been, let's see, that candle ends on the, well, it would end on the 12th. So the close there is 3,048. So you would go from 2,300 to 3,048. Is that okay? 2,300 is $700 or so, a chunk like that. All right. Yeah, it is. I think that's okay. What about here? Let's look at the close there, 38.45, and then the getting out point, 41.29. Now, you can get out any point in between in there as well as you can do. And again, you can set certain percentages when you go back and you back check and see what's the average percentage increase. I haven't done that. You can go back through time and check those and see how well that works. If we look at where Ethereum is right now, it too is trundling down. We can see how price movement, when it hit its peak, then it moved down, tried to move up a little bit. We didn't get fooled because our price percent oscillator kept going down. And you can also see that the histogram stayed red. Candlesticks went green, excuse me, a couple of times, but then stayed mostly red. So Ethereum, still lots of down energy. When we start seeing the price percent oscillator flatten, head up, we see this histogram start going less and less. Well, no solid red turns into, stays solid red, not open box red. That means acceleration in the down move. When we see things go smaller and smaller in the red and then flip over to green, that then gives us an idea the price percent oscillator is crossing over, and we might have the ability to jump into an up move. We'll wait, watch, and see on that. Now let me show you one that is actually moving up. This is ADA, and I'm going to have to grab my notes. I don't want to give you the wrong name for this. ADA is Cardano. And Cardano actually has crossed over. You can see where it was trying to fake you out, but if you stayed out of these little candles and waited for a nice green open box candle, which we had there, with I almost said weekly vertical crossover, a 3-day crossover. You don't. I've learned, don't start with a red candle. Start with a green. So your close on that would be, this is your opening price. That would be at 1900 hours, so 7 o'clock on. Let me see here. That would have been the 15th. Your opening price was $1.29, 129.3. Hit a high so far of 163.79. Where is it hit today? The high on this last 3-day candle so far, we can see that the high is 153.29, and again 135 is where it is right now. So again, you can see that there has been some very nice movement as the price percent oscillator continues to move up. We still have a green open box candle. Again, there is a potential practice trade here. We have been tracking this and will track it. And again, continue to learn from these things. I just wanted to give you these three. I think I'm always going to look at Bitcoin every week. We're always going to look at Ethereum every week because Bitcoin first and then Ethereum second drives this market. And then we'll look at next, we'll look at various cryptocurrencies that are actually moving, giving us some up moves that we can track. I will show you the top 10 cryptos that we will be looking at. Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, and I can go through the list here. It's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, which is Cardano, SOL, which is Solana, XRP, which is Ripple, DOT, which is Polkadot, DOGE, which is Dogecoin, MATIC, which is Polygon, Link, which is Chainlink, Uni, which is Uniswap, and then LTC, which is Litecoin. So again, we'll be looking at all these various coins. I've tried to pick coins that you can purchase on Kraken, and also coins that are the top 10 as far as market capitalization goes. I've left out the US dollar coins, the stable coins. Why do we need to track the dollar that's always right at $1, a penny or two off? There's no reason for us to do that. So we're not doing that. We're tracking 11. I added Litecoin in there in the end. So folks, that's where we are. Let me know what you think about this. And for the Patreon members, I'll share that chart with you both at the Patreon page. It'll be saved when I always post everything that we do there for you. It'll also be in your email, but if you don't get your email on Wednesdays, for some reason you don't see it, it goes to your spam box. If there's a glitch, always go to the Patreon page because I'll load everything up there for you too. Thank you so much, my friends. I hope you're as excited about the possibilities of tracking these cryptocurrencies. Now, again, I know the whole crypto world is in a strong down move right now, but it doesn't mean that we can't start practicing. We can't start looking for little gold nuggets where they might be. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.